Hey everybody, it's Chef Rogers, and I was literally shocked when I went in and had my taxes done by Jackson Hewitt. I've been with them for 27 years when they first started in Ohio with a gentleman called Rick Engel. And so year after year, never had a problem, always took all my documentation. He would take the time to do the long form. I had started with him when I was an engineer and not a business owner, and my husband doing hazmat. We would have the taxes taken out of, our paycheck, but found that it wasn't enough. So Mr. Engel took the time, and I do mean the time. It was like 8 hours going through all documentation, children filed, blah, 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 and got everything straightened out. And so the small amount that we owed the IRS, we actually submitted it, and that was it. And from that point on, we had been dealing with him for years. And this would have been the 28th year. Mr. Engel died a couple years ago. I apologize. And I was so heartbroken. And so his wife took over the business. And before he passed, as he was getting ill, he had mentioned that there was a gentleman, Mr. Steele, who was more than capable of doing our long form to go out and, have our taxes prepared, still with the same company. So this year was quite different. And so we got through everything with a complete filing, as you see. All the forms are in here that they print out for you. Payment submitted to them, blah, blah, blah. A day later, they call us, and he goes, "They put your taxes on hold." And I'm like, "They who?" And he goes, "My boss." And I'm like, "Well, who is your boss? I don't know what the problem would be. We've been doing the same thing year after year." And to make sure that there was never a problem along with taking the box of receipts, we took all bank statements from Chase, along with all of our forms where we would, pull monies. And that we assuming that would be all that they need, because that's all they ever needed. And so he told us, he says, "Well, there's $70,000 that's not accounted for." And I'm like, "And what do you mean?" We pulled it out of the bank. So I'm assuming, that being black, that you can't take $70,000 and pull it out of your bank account, because I donated $20,000 to homeless individuals for housing, clothing, blah, blah, blah. And I do this all the time. So that's why I said, why would this year be any different? I wasn't that active in my business because we're in the manufacturing now, and I had been ill. So after the 2 surgeries, I said, this year I'm going to kind of, take off and get some rest, and took a vacation. We went cruising, Florida, Barcelona, whatever. And I thought maybe they went, "Well, maybe you spent too much on vacation." Hell, I didn't know. And so it's like, "Well, let me, take a snapshot and send it over to you." And he goes, "Okay." So I'm uploading all these forms thinking, what else would you want? Because like I said, it's not like JP Morgan Chase is going to fraudulently provide you with documentation. That's the reason we deal with them, for the protection. So he calls back the day after, and I go, "I was waiting for your boss." The boss never had a name, never had a phone number, and never contacted us. And he says, "Well, they want more documentation." My thing is, how much more could you possibly want when you have all the statements that they send you at the end of the year from JP Morgan? You have every single bank statement which shows how you spend your money, whether it's $1.29 or $5,099, it is there. And he goes, "They still can't account for this." And I'm like, well, we pulled it out of her, 401k plan, vacationing, whatever. And I thought maybe it's because I spent $80,000 for a car. Here I am again, by being a Black professional, 66 years of age. My husband is 74. You're going to tell me that I can't spend my money the way I want to, nor buy what I want to do. Now, meanwhile, I showed him the receipt because we collected rent from properties, thinking maybe that's the problem. Not, so did you put that information on there? Not. And like I said, just a whole lot of nothing. I called our bank, withdrew the money back from them doing the preparation on the taxes.